You're sitting in a completely messy room, exhausted because you stayed up until 3 a.m., actively talking to yourself out loud. Society calls you a disorganized disaster. But science? Science calls you a genius. It turns out, the exact behaviors you've spent your entire life trying to fix are actually the ultimate biological proof of a remarkably high IQ. For years, you've probably felt a quiet sense of guilt about these quirks, convinced you're just lazy or lacking discipline. But by forcing yourself into a neat, quiet, early bird mold to please everyone else, you aren't just wasting energy. You are literally suffocating your brain's natural wiring. What if fixing yourself is the exact thing destroying your greatest cognitive advantage? Think about the classic picture of a genius. You probably imagine a straight-A student sitting at a perfectly organized desk, waking up at dawn, and working in absolute, focused silence. From childhood, we are programmed to believe that a highly intelligent brain is an orderly, disciplined machine. Society tells us that if your workspace is a disaster zone, or if you are wide awake pacing your room at 3 in the morning, you are just a disorganized slacker. But when cognitive psychologists actually began mapping the daily routines of the world's most brilliant minds, they discovered that our definition of intelligence is completely backwards. It turns out, the behaviors your parents and teachers constantly scolded you for aren't character flaws at all. They are neurological cheat codes. The unspoken truth is that an exceptional brain simply doesn't have the bandwidth to conform to polite, everyday routines. It is entirely too busy processing a relentless overflow of complex data. What society labels as chaotic, lazy, or just plain weird is actually the raw exhaust of a high-functioning intellect running in overdrive. And if you catch yourself doing this first thing, you might already be light years ahead of the curve. But here is the uncomfortable catch that most people completely miss. Just being a disorganized slob doesn't automatically make you Einstein. The hidden truth is that an elite brain isn't just accidentally messy. It is actively, aggressively filtering out the irrelevant. It sabotages normal, polite behavior on purpose to free up mental RAM. It simply does not care if you look crazy to the outside world. Which brings us to habit number 1. You talk to yourself. Out loud. A lot. We aren't talking about quietly muttering over lost car keys. We mean full-blown, two-sided conversations with the empty space in front of you. Bystanders might think you are literally losing your grip on reality, but clinical psychologists reveal this vocalization acts as an external processor, instantly crystallizing abstract data and accelerating memory retrieval. While the average person insists on trapping every thought inside their skull just to appear socially acceptable, they are actually bottlenecking their own cognitive speed. Silent thinking forces the brain to juggle dozens of half-formed ideas simultaneously, creating a massive mental traffic jam. By trying so desperately to look normal, everyday minds severely limit their own problem-solving capacity. A highly intelligent brain refuses to accept that structural flaw. It physically projects ideas into the air, turning abstract concepts into tangible audio it can manipulate in real time. It happily sacrifices the illusion of sanity for raw, unfiltered processing power. But this refusal to play by the rules doesn't stop at talking out loud. The truly elite brain actively rebels against human biology itself to secure the ultimate unfair advantage. While the masses willingly power down, a high IQ mind hoards the rarest cognitive asset in existence: absolute, uninterrupted isolation. Which brings us to habit number 2. You are a chronic, unrepentant night owl. Society worships the early riser, branding the 3 a.m. thinker as undisciplined. Yet evolutionary psychology reveals a chillingly brilliant truth. Your circadian rhythm isn't broken, it is strategically shifted. By refusing to sleep when the world dictates, your brain forcefully extracts itself from the chaotic, low-level frequency of daytime society. You are literally stealing hours of peak cognitive bandwidth that average people sleep right through, weaponizing the dark to outthink everyone else. But existing in that midnight vacuum comes with a terrifying psychological toll. When you systematically strip away the mundane distractions of the outside world, you are left completely unguarded against your own relentless intellect. This is the brutal, unspoken trap of a high-speed mind. Starved of trivial daytime interruptions, your brain begins to hyperfixate, spiraling into punishing self-analysis and paralyzing existential dread. You aren't just processing data, you are dissecting every flaw, every microscopic variable, and every catastrophic worst-case scenario with crushing clarity. It is a dangerous, razor-thin tightrope suspended between cognitive supremacy and total psychological burnout. And just when that suffocating internal pressure threatens to permanently fracture your sanity, your brain forces you into an erratic, involuntary physical defense mechanism to vent the overload, a bizarre daily habit that outsiders immediately label as pure, unadulterated laziness. You completely zone out, staring blankly into the void of your horribly messy room, frozen in what looks like absolute unproductivity. But you aren't doing nothing. Your brain is executing a massive emergency system reboot. By letting your physical environment collapse into complete disarray, your mind is ruthlessly cutting power to mundane tasks like organizing your desk or putting things away just to keep your core processor from melting down. The mess isn't a failure of discipline. It is the necessary collateral damage of an elite intellect fighting to sustain its own brilliance. When you connect all the pieces, the midnight exhaustion, the frantic external processing of talking to yourself out loud, and the unapologetic chaos of your physical space, the ultimate truth finally clicks. You were never broken. You were never a disorganized disaster who just needed to try harder. You are simply operating on a frequency the rest of the world wasn't built to survive. The exact behaviors society has spent your entire life trying to fix errant character flaws at all. They are the definitive biological proof of your cognitive supremacy. So stop apologizing for the way your mind operates. Stop letting average intellects dictate your worth or force you into a neatly organized, highly predictable box that was specifically designed to keep you slow. Your quirks are not a burden. They are your ultimate unfair advantage. The next time someone tells you to clean your chaotic workspace, go to bed at a normal hour, or stop muttering to yourself in public. Just smile. You don't need to conform to their mundane reality when you are entirely too busy building a far superior one inside your own head. If this finally gave you the permission to stop playing small and completely embrace the raw power of your own intellect, hit the subscribe button right now. Join a community of minds that refuse to slow down for the rest of the world. Drop a comment telling us which of these genius traits you possess, and keep out thinking them all.